Thanks, Robbie. It was a great overview of the history of Couchbase and the core principles that were used to develop our platform and how we look to develop the platform going forward. It's wonderful to be back in London here at Connect EU. Today, my focus is about translating the technology vision that Robbie talked about into our product reality. I'm going to spend some time providing a summary of the capabilities that we just released in our Mobile 2.0 release that came out a couple of months ago, and then highlight a number of critical features that we're delivering with the Couchbase Server 5.5 release that's going to be available later this summer. I'm going to also spend some time giving you a view into where we're headed over the next year or so. So what are the critical things that we're working on between the product management organization, the engineering organization? And where we're going is based off the conversations that we have with customers like you and partners like you in the room today. We pride ourselves on the amount of interaction that we have with our customers that drives our current and future roadmap and where we're investing to in the future. So, as Matt and Ravi talked about, our focus is about meeting real business needs. And it's the most challenging needs that customers have. And I want to revisit what Matt and Ravi talked about with a few of our customers, Amadeus. And when I came on board and joined Couchbase a year ago, one of the things that I was amazed with were the incredible customer stories and how they were successfully deploying the Couchbase data platform to deal with their biggest challenges. And if you look at Amadeus, 1 trillion searches per year. It's almost unfathomable the amount of searches that we support with our Couchbase data platform. And I think one of the stats that was most impressive to me was the fact that the number of interactions has grown by 400% over the last 4 to 5 years with Amadeus. And they've been able to scale the Couchbase data platform throughout those 4 years, supporting that massive growth with no downtime of the application or the database. United. I'm a United 1K member. I talked to the flight attendants about the U-Crew app that they use. I asked them every time I got on a flight, how do you use that? What was the experience like before? And I think if many of you know, when you go to an airport, what's the infrastructure that's behind getting your tickets in a lot of ways? It's a mainframe and a dot matrix printer. That's now moved from that environment to an environment in which they're using tablets to understand not only up-to-date flight change information, but getting crews onto planes dealing with weather delays if you're in Chicago O'Hare or London Heathrow. And then making sure the flight attendant and crew understands where they need to go. When's their pickup? What's their hotel reservation? What changes have occurred? And they built this layer on top of the mainframe systems that they have today. Those still aren't in existence, but they've used the Couchbase data platform as a way to consolidate that information and deliver highly interactive applications to their employees as well as to their customers. And Becton Dickinson. Absolutely amazing and a highlight of our mobile technology, the ability to get real-time insight on people's insulin levels and be able to provide that to their care providers to provide real-time informative conversations about how they can improve their health on an hourly or day-to-day basis. And this is a disease that affects millions of people around the world, and they're using the Couchbase data platform to solve these significant challenges that were unsolvable 5-10 years ago. So what are we focused on? There's 3 key principles from an enterprise challenges perspective that we're focused on. And Ravi touched on these a little bit. But the ability to enable flexibility and agility, which is really about developing, deploying, and optimizing your applications quickly. And optimization is a critical thing, because the underlying data in your database that are serving your applications are constantly changing. So the ability to quickly adapt and provide flexibility to optimize your application is critically important. Delivering performance at scale. So the ability to scale an application dynamically based off of business needs or traffic patterns. And then finally, manageability. The ability to automate the operations regardless of where that infrastructure resides. Is it in bare metal? Is it on VMs? Is it in containers? Is it in your own data center? Or is it in the public cloud? Those are the 3 key principles that drive our investment at Couchbase. How do we enable you to have more flexibility and agility to build the great applications that you're developing? The ability, as those applications take off, to deliver performance at scale without interruption to your application service. And finally, making it manageable so you can lower the total cost of ownership of your aggregate solution. So I'm going to spend some time talking about what's new from Couchbase, and I'm really excited about the capabilities that we've delivered. And I'm going to talk about our mobile solution as well as Couchbase Server. But I'm going to talk about this in slightly a different context. Rather than go through a broad list of features, I'm going to try to organize these features so that they're relevant for each different role in the audience today. And the roles that I'm focused on first are developers and architects, really trying to figure out what's the value for them, what's in it for you, why should you be excited about this capability. And I'm going to provide that context for both developers and architects. And then also I'm going to spend some time for the DevOps community. What are we doing to improve the manageability of Couchbase, making it easier for you to run not just one cluster, but tens of clusters and potentially hundreds of clusters of Couchbase. So let's jump into developer agility. So one of the things we're incredibly proud of is Nickel, which is our query language, which brings the power of SQL with the flexibility of JSON. And we've done 3 critical innovations with Couchbase Server 5.5. The first one is bringing ANSI joins, which provides more flexibility to your join operations compared to lookup or index joins. This technology or solution is widely used in relational systems, and the ability to support this within Couchbase allows you to easily move from relational systems to Couchbase and provides you much more flexibility from a join operation, which allows you to deliver more complex application logic to your end users. We've also brought to bear index groupings and pushdowns. This delivers dramatic performance improvements. In our internal testing, it's not just an improvement of 20 or 30%. We're talking a single order of magnitude to multiple orders of magnitude performance improvements. The ability to do aggregate pushdowns to support sum, group, min, max, average, and group by. The next thing is index partitioning, the ability to partition your index across multiple nodes within your Couchbase cluster. This allows you to support much larger indexes in the environment and dramatically improves performance because you're able to leverage the compute not of just a single node, but multiple nodes for your index. The next service is a new service that we're introducing with Couchbase 5.5. It's our eventing service. Our product management and engineering team has spent countless hours with customers. And we've just did a roadshow with about 30 customers that we highlighted this new capability, and the feedback was tremendous. This is a new service that enables you to create user-defined business logic to be triggered in real time based off of changes in data within Couchbase. So think of this as event, condition, and action. The event is kind of the change in the data, and you set a condition or a parameter for the action that's going to occur. And as we've developed this capability, we've really been focused on the developer. How do we make this easy to use? So it uses a JavaScript programming language and an interactive debugger that allows developers to build, test, and maintain this complex logic that you're developing. And it really allows you to build much more robust applications, and also, as we've learned in talking to our customers, creates new abilities for you to manage data within Couchbase itself. So doing things like expiring of documents and being able to get alerts on those before those documents expire. The next area that we're focused on is mobile, with the introduction of Mobile 2.0. Many of you provided feedback about our mobile solution, and we spoke with over 80 customers across the world and tried to look at all of the insights that they provided us. And this is really about taking the Couchbase data platform to the edge with simplified APIs that are thread safe and easy to learn. We also created a new query interface that's based off of Nickel, and we brought full text search capability to the edge. We improved the replication protocol, allowing you to connect dramatically more concurrent clients to the Couchbase data platform and reduce latency for that data transfer. We've also introduced automatic conflict resolution, removing that burden from developers and having Couchbase take that responsibility on and providing an easy way for you to resolve conflicts within your application. And then finally, reliability. This came directly, this feature, from a request from one of our largest customers in the United States, who has mobile devices that are out in the field. And they have critical data on those devices. And what they wanted was on-device replica. So with Mobile 2.0, you have the ability to connect an external storage device to those mobile devices and create a replica. So now you have resiliency on the edge with Couchbase Mobile 2.0. So the next set of capabilities I'm going to focus on are for the DevOps community. And it starts with GDPR. And so we delivered a number of capabilities to enable you to be compliant with the new GDPR regulations that came into effect last month. So we've introduced auditing for nickel statements. Log redaction, so as you're collecting log information about Couchbase, you have the ability to remove personally identifiable information prior to sending that within your organization or to Couchbase as part of a support case. We've introduced X509 certificate-based authentication, all in service of you to enable you to be compliant with the upcoming the GDPR regulations that are now apply to all companies around the world. The next area I want to talk about is managed cloud. This is a new solution that we launched at Connect New York in May and went generally available last week. Managed cloud is a new solution that we've developed in concert with a partner. But it's the combination of the world's most powerful NoSQL technology, Couchbase, with the #1 provider, managed service provider in the cloud, Rackspace. And we've introduced a single solution for our customers called Couchbase Managed Cloud. What is Couchbase Managed Cloud? It's a managed service that allows you to get to the cloud much quicker. Couchbase will take on the responsibility to deploy, configure, and manage your Couchbase clusters in any one of the 3 major public clouds, Amazon, Azure, and GCP. This dramatically reduces the amount of resources needed to manage Couchbase. We take on that responsibility with our partner, Rackspace. It allows you to mitigate risks with real-time monitoring of your environment by yourself as well as us. And it provides security control and flexibility. Because unlike other offerings, you are able to run your environment within your own virtual private cloud. This is not running Couchbase's cloud, so you have complete control of your data and access to that data because it's running in your own VPC. There's also another critical benefit, which is performance. So within your VPC, your application and your database are now co-located to reduce latency of data transfer from the database and the application tier. So we're incredibly excited about this new capability or new offering that we brought to the marketplace. We've discussed this with a number of customers, and we've designed this solution specifically based off of their needs, which is to remove the operational burden, to eliminate risk in their deployments, while providing the security that they want of running this within their own virtual private cloud. So the next area I want to talk about is Kubernetes. And we're incredibly excited about the Couchbase operator. This operator allows you to deploy for Couchbase deployments natively in open source Kubernetes as well as OpenShift. It extends the Kubernetes API by creating a custom resource definition and registering a Couchbase specific controller. The end result of this is up to a 95% reduction in operational overhead. In our initial release, which will be coming out later this summer, it enables you to have automatic provisioning, configuration, management, as well as auto recovery and on-demand scaling of your Couchbase environment. We have over 20 customers actively engaged, and some of the largest Couchbase customers around the world in our beta, which became available earlier this spring. And we've gotten great feedback from our beta participants. And so what I would like to do now is talk a little bit about the operator and our interaction with Red Hat. So we announced the autonomous operator last month at Connect New York. At the same time, actually a day before, Red Hat, as our launch partner, demoed it live at the Red Hat Summit in San Francisco in front of thousands of customers. And we were one of 4 partners with Red Hat to have their solution demoed during the keynote there. What I would like to do now is bring up Martin Lentil, the UK Managing Director for Red Hat, to discuss the partnership between Red Hat and Couchbase. Can you please give a warm welcome to Martin?
Thanks, Scott.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the Couchbase team for inviting me. So OpenShift, you've seen it on Matt's slide regarding Amadeus, and you've seen it mentioned here by Scott. So this is Red Hat's container application platform. Okay, so at one stage, containers revolutionized the shipping industry on a worldwide basis. And now we're seeing containers repeating the same thing in technology. So containers provide, okay, a standardized way of packaging, delivering and deploying workloads in the public, private, hybrid, and multi-cloud environment, okay? I think you all know this. If you were at Red Hat Summit, Scott mentioned it, there was probably around 8,000 people at the Red Hat Summit in San Francisco. What we announced Kubernetes Operator, okay, to the Red Hat OpenShift ecosystem. So essentially this provides a simplified pathway for ISVs to deliver, validate, and test Kubernetes applications. And this is really important because, we want to try and find a simplified way for ISVs to come in to Kubernetes and provide this as a solid application platform. Really, really important. We have 60 software providers, okay, who are supporting the Red Hat OpenShift Kubernetes operator framework. And as Scott said, what was really pleasing was Couchbase were one of the top 4 software providers on stage at the Red Hat Summit demoing this environment.
Great. Could you talk a little bit about some of the customer interaction you had? Because I know that we partner with a number of customer environments, and maybe talk about some examples of Couchbase and Red Hat and kind of the Kubernetes context, how we're working together and solving real difficult challenges for our customers today.
Sure. Well, I think hopefully you'll go along to a couple of things that I'll reference later on. Amadeus, I think, are here talking, so that's definitely one to go and see. So, I talk to a lot of customers, and what I still get a massive sense for that there's a lot of legacy out there. OpenShift is really helping customers migrate their legacy apps and modernize them, okay, and move them into a microservices architecture and environment. But also, the new world, we're asked to help customers with OpenShift in terms of the cloud-native apps onto flexible platforms. So this is a focus area. The biggest feedback we get from customers, and I think where Red Hat has a strength and plays well, is customers are looking for this to be deployed and managed in hours and days, not months and years, which is what happens out there in the marketplace. Second thing is Kubernetes is, for us, the de facto standard for orchestration within containerized apps. So I think, that's being supported by Couchbase and messaged by Scott. And then, we're really seeing customers move into that hybrid. We're all about hybrid and multi-cloud platforms. And so the last thing really for the true test here, Scott, is go along to the Amadeus presentation. You'll see, hopefully they'll put up a diagram where you'll see Couchbase and Red Hat featured heavily in their architecture. Yep.
So one last question for you, Martin. How should customers and partners get started if they're interested in this technology solution between Red Hat and Couchbase?
Okay, well, Couchbase is a managed ISV. We're committed to the relationship. We can help customers work with the Couchbase technology deployed on OpenShift. We can help with some of the architecture. So come along and speak to us. We have a stand outside. Chris Milstead his principal solution architect, has a presentation later today where he'll show Couchbase and Red Hat OpenShift working together, and he'll also have a demo. So I think if you can come along to that, I'll help answer that question. Okay.
Thank you so much, Martin. I really appreciate your time, and our partnership is incredible.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much. So now I'm going to pivot in 3 or 4 more clicks and really talk about 4 critical areas where we're headed and we're invested in. As I mentioned before, where we're investing is really a combination of Ravi and the engineering team's vision married with the requirements that we get from customers and partners around the world. And the first area that I want to talk about is analytics. And so analytics is a new data service that Ravi talked about a little bit before, but it's a new capability that we'll be releasing later this year. And we will look at analytics. There's a few new capabilities or critical design points that we looked at. In talking to customers and feedback we've gotten on the solution is the challenge of ETL. And so what we've done with our service is removed the need to ETL. We enable memory-to-memory replication of the data that sits in your data nodes in Couchbase into new nodes called analytic nodes. And this enables incredibly fast ingest because we're doing memory-to-memory replication and allows you to develop real-time insights into your data. Gone are the days of batching data from Couchbase someplace else and waiting minutes, hours, and potentially days to be able to analyze the information there. We're obviously focused on performance. So the ability to deliver distributed query performance. And so this allows you to run analytics at any scale. We've implemented an MPP architecture that scales linearly. We have the ability to run queries over multiple nodes or cores within a single node itself. And we're able to do this with no operational impact to your business services. As Ravi talked about before, one of our critical design elements is multidimensional scaling. So the ability to have these separate nodes where you're doing ad hoc analytic queries without the need for an index, and to do very complex queries that may take a second or two to go ahead and run, you do that without creating a noisy neighbor problem and impacting performance of your operational application. So we're incredibly excited about this, and as we talk to customers, we find more and more interesting use cases in terms of how they're trying to solve the problem today. An example that we looked at and just got an email from the product manager who runs this was a customer who was taking data from Couchbase, importing it into SQL Server to use a BI visualization tool. The challenge that they faced with that is if they changed the schema within Couchbase, they added a new field in the JSON document. That broke their ETL pipeline, required them to update table definitions in SQL Server to be able to analyze that data. With a Couchbase analytical service, you remove the need to do ETL. You get incredibly fast performance because of our MPP architecture with no operational impact. We have a beta that's available now today, and I strongly encourage you to take a look at this technology and play around with it because we think this is a tremendous addition to the overall Couchbase data platform. The next area that I want to focus on is mobile. We talked about what we released in Mobile 2.0, but we're just getting started. We're focused on performance, so delta synchronization. How do we reduce the bandwidth consumption for data transferred from the cloud or from your own data centers to the edge? And our goal is to reduce that data transfer rate by up to 10x. The next area that we're focused on is taking analytics to the edge. So the ability to run trained machine learning models on the edge without having to do round trips of data from the mobile device back to the server. So the ability to take that intelligence or that machine learning algorithm and put it on the edge device where it belongs so you get much faster performance. And then the last area is IoT devices. We have a tremendous solution today for iOS and for Android devices, but how do we extend that into IoT devices to enable things like smart factories, industrial IoT, connected healthcare, even more than what we do today? The next area that I want to speak about is around what we're doing for performance at scale. So one of the things we're looking at is automated query performance. How do we provide intelligence about your queries and indexes? And that's going to come in the form of two features. The first one is Index Advisor, to analyze your queries and recommend the indexes that you should create, but also analyze all the indexes that exist within your system today to understand which ones are being underutilized and can be removed. We'll also be introducing Cost-Based Optimizer to determine the best query plan and minimize manual tuning of the query itself. The second area that we're focused on is enhanced disk performance. So really improving the performance of Couchbase for IO-centric workloads. And in combination with that, the ability to support much larger databases with Couchbase. So databases that are not just a terabyte or 10 terabytes, but up to 100 terabytes. In order to do that, it requires significant changes within Couchbase. So we're focused on faster and more robust rebalance capabilities, incremental and faster file compaction, and the ability to index large amounts of data. Those are all innovations that are in support of extending the capacity of the Couchbase data platform. Now, the last area that I'll talk about is how we improve or reduce the operational burden of Couchbase. So it's really about bringing operational simplicity. We're going to continue to invest in Kubernetes. We're just getting started with our initial release this summer, but we'll be creating new capabilities to manage things like automated upgrade, backup, monitoring, and usage reporting. We're also focused on the ability for you to manage not just a single cluster, but multiple clusters. And this is a new capability that we're developing with a number of our customers, which gives you a global ops manager, the ability to give visibility and management control of your clusters, regardless of where they're deployed. So a single dashboard or portal that allows you to manage multiple Couchbase clusters, be it if they're running on-prem or in the cloud. And the last area that we're focused on, and we have been focused on for the last couple of years, is how we extend our support of multi-cloud. So we have public cloud deployments or templates that we've developed for the 3 major cloud providers, and we've continued to enhance those over the last year. We have recently introduced support for Terraform for AWS, and we'll continue to extend that support to Azure and GCP in the coming months, all in effort of providing more operational simplicity to managing Couchbase. So the revolutionary advantage. I hope you've gotten from this talk that we're delivering significant new capabilities and already have done that with Mobile 2.0. We're going to extend those capabilities with Couchbase 5.5. For developers and architects, we're enhancing Nickel with things like ANSI joins, index grouping, and pushdowns, and index partitioning. We brought a new eventing service that allows you to enable user-defined business logic that is triggered based off of changes of data within Couchbase. And with mobile, we've extended the Couchbase data platform to the edge with simplified APIs to speed and simplify deployment. And for the DevOps community, we've done tremendous work with our partner Red Hat around Kubernetes. And we're the first NoSQL database with an operator with Red Hat OpenShift as well as for native Kubernetes. We've launched our managed cloud to simplify your journey to the cloud by taking the operational burden with our partner Rackspace and giving you a single solution where we'll manage and operate your Couchbase clusters in the public cloud. We're tremendously excited about the capabilities that we have delivered and those capabilities that we'll be delivering later this summer. So, organizations are leveraging Couchbase today, as we've talked about, to solve their most critical business challenges and enabling them to revolutionize their business and their organizations. Today, you're going to have a tremendous opportunity to hear their stories about how they're leveraging the Couchbase data platform in their context to solve their customers' challenges as well as their employee challenges. You also have the opportunity to hear from our engineering, product management, SE organization to get more details about the features that I spoke about coming with Couchbase 5.5 and Mobile 2.0. And I hope you have the opportunity to listen to those great sessions and come back later in the afternoon to participate in Ravi's demonstration where he will highlight a number of the features that I went through today. So revolutionaries wanted. Now is the time to take advantage of these capabilities. I ask you to download the Couchbase 5.5 beta that's available on our website or begin deploying Mobile 2.0, which has been generally available for a couple of months. And provide feedback in the sessions about the features and help guard our future investments and roadmap going forward. I'd like to thank you very much for your patience today with the clicker and your time, and hopefully you enjoyed the session. I'd like to bring Peter Finner back up on stage to close out the keynote. Thank you very much.